Hey everybody, it's Lon Simon. We've got another mini PC to take a look at. This is the Azulle Inspire, and this is something that will compare with an Intel NUC. This particular one has an i5 7200U processor built in, but it's bare bones. There's no storage or RAM installed. You have to get that along with this when you buy it. I believe this is selling right now for about $330 on Amazon. We'll be taking a closer look at this very shortly on my main channel at lon.tv. So let's take a look and see what we got here. We've got our install guide here and their little pledge for making you a satisfied customer. And then we can take a look here at the computer itself. And one of the things that we've seen on some of the other Azulle PCs we've looked at is that they like to make their heat sinks pretty robust on the exterior of the computer. So we've got to take off this label here. I had trouble with this label on the other one we looked at recently too. So it doesn't look like it comes off all that cleanly. Let's see if I can get this thing off of here. Looks like this is going to be a bit of a problem getting this label off clean, so I will continue playing with this as we go through here. That's not good. So hopefully they come up with a better labeling system there. Now what I need to do first with this actually is take it apart because I do have to install the storage and the RAM. So I'm going to do that in just a second, but let's see what else is in the box here. So we've got this little box of connectors and other things. So let's see what we have. We have, of course, the power adapter. This is, for those wondering, let's see, we're running at 12 volts at 3 amps, so not a tremendous amount of power on here, but you're not connecting all that much to it. Got the power cord here. Like the other Azulle PC we looked at recently, it comes with a remote, but this is not an air mouse remote. It's just a remote to replicate some key presses, but if you're using it as a home theater box, that would be something to use it for. Because this has the 7th generation KB Lake chips built in, it might do pretty well as a home theater box, and of course that will be one of the things that we test on it. In here we've got some Wi-Fi antennas for getting better Wi-Fi range. It does support wireless AC, and we've got here a couple of power connectors and SATA connectors for the internal hard drive that we will likely be installing onto it in just a second. So that is that. And as for ports, let's take a look at the ports before we take it apart. On the front, we've got a USB 3 port, a micro SD card slot. This right here is a USB Type-C connector, but not Thunderbolt. That's a bit of a letdown. I'd love to see this little box have a Thunderbolt jack so you could plug in some external GPUs, but no dice on that, just a USB-C port. Power goes in here. You've got DisplayPort out, HDMI out, Gigabit Ethernet, and 2 more USB 3 ports along with a serial port, believe it or not. That's a classic. It looks, to some people might look like a VGA port, but this is serial, so you could plug in your old mouse or something on there if you wanted to, or maybe some other specialized device. All right, I'm going to get into this thing and see what's inside and how easy it is to install RAM. Let's take a look at that step. Okay, so let's take a look inside now and see what we've got here. This PC, by the way, is fanless. We'll see how well it's able to keep itself cool when we put it under load in the main review, so be on the lookout for that. But everything you need to get this device up and running is accessible to you here underneath this panel. So you have 2 RAM modules here. It'll support dual channel RAM. DDR4 is what you need for this one, so make sure you buy that when you click the checkout button on it. Over here we've got an M2 SATA slot, and what you need is one of the longer M2 SATA drives that will go over the wireless module here. So you put it in over there and screw it down on this screw right here. Now if you want to use a more traditional SATA drive, which I'll be doing, you have a SATA connector here, and then the drive itself mounts here on the bottom of the bottom, I guess, or the top of the bottom of the case. So you put the SATA drive in here and then connect it up with that included cable over to that SATA connector, which is on the motherboard here. And I think there's also a power connector you have to plug into as well, which I think is right there. So we'll be doing all of that in the main review and seeing how well this thing performs under load, especially given that it is fanless. I do have to work on getting the sticker off. This has not been going very well, so hopefully they improve their adhesives for future versions of this. But stay tuned, full review coming up very shortly on the main channel at lon.tv.
This channel is brought to you by my Patreon supporters, including gold level supporters, the Black Eyed and Blues Music Hour podcast, Chris Allegretta, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/Patreon to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.